Move on to our third speaker. So our third speaker is our distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan. And for Raghavan, we have our evaluator as Toastmaster Badri. So Toastmaster Badri is a co-founder of a club and a good leader and a great human being as well. So now I invite Toastmaster Badri to explain the objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farosha. I hope I'm visible.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Toastmaster Raghavan is giving his Project One Level One Speech One from Team Collaboration, the Icebreaker speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking. Timing will be 4 to 6 minutes. All the best, Raghavan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Badri. Now I'll call upon our next speaker. So he is a district level winner in international speech contest and has been representing our club multiple times in the district stage. A great mentor for many and a co-founder of our club. And he always wears a smile on his face. And now I hand over the stage to our distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan. DTM Raghavan, side effects of collaboration. Side effects of collaboration, DTM Raghavan.
My great grandfather's name was Mr. Shankar Iyer. He was not just my great grandfather, he was a great collaborator. Need proof? His collaboration with his wife Sharada led to him having 9 kids, 5 sons, and 4 daughters. We will focus on the first and the eldest of his sons, Mr. Subramanian, and he was a good collaborator himself, not as great as my great grandfather, but very good nonetheless. He had 3 kids, 2 sons, and 1 daughter. And they are perfect examples of how, with generations, traditions and culture get diluted. They were not great collaborators. My uncle had just 2 sons, my aunt none, my father Sridhar had only me. We will talk about me a little later. Toastmaster of the day, my dear fellow Toastmasters, and everybody else who is a product of collaboration, good evening. Now, my great grandfather was really shocked to see this family tree. He looked at it and he thought, oh, the tradition is dwindling. So he put a rule to the family stating until he was alive, we all must live in the joint family. And so I grew up in a joint family until I reached about 6 or 7 years of my age. You know, just before Darshini was talking about Wonder Woman, right? How if she fell down, her mother will run up to her and say, but what happened to you? Are you okay? Darshini, you are in a nuclear family, right? Because in joint families, you know what happens when you fall down? Your cousins are the first to reach, and they look at you and they start laughing. And the elders around, they come in and say, okay, you fell down, get up, we don't have time to attend to you. 35 adults in the family and nobody had any time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what were the seeds behind who I am as a personality. You, many of you, still tell Raghavan, you are very good at making friends, and that striking a conversation comes very easily to you, don't you? That comes from being in a joint family. Raghavan, as a person, evolved in such a setup where I always had multiple people around me and I had to be the best to compete to even get my favorite share, or I mean, the share of my favorite aloo. I had to be really outspoken. I had to demand and I had to grab the opportunity so that I get as much aloo as I really wanted. Well, I grew up in such a setup, and my father and mother were busy with work in the family, and I was busy creating something out of my own self along with my cousins. I was always collaborating. Now, me, I will spread my life into 3 categories today. First is my school life, it's what I call the childhood phase. Next is my adolescent and early adult life, which is my college. And then finally, my adult life, which is my work. And in each of these phases, I evolved through collaboration. I evolved step by step. In my school life, I had a few important milestones and a few important things that happened to me. First up was cricket. See, again, because of the joint family or what, I don't know. I didn't go behind individual sports like tennis or table tennis. I went behind a team sport like cricket. That fascinated me. And you all know the story, don't you, of how I wanted to become a cricketer once. Cricket was in my blood. I lived in Triplicane, very close to the Marina Beach, where back then cricket was allowed, and I used to play there every day. And after a while, my mom asked me, "You were born white. How did you become so black all of a sudden?" Well, cricket was the reason behind all of it. My heart turned white, my body turned black. I learned about friendship. I had so many friends in school. Even to this day, the friends that I value the most come from my school. I also discovered the stage, or the stage discovered me. Skits, dance, my exposure to music. I'm a violinist, and my first violin class was when I was still at school. And it became an addiction, the stage. And I figured out that I belonged at the stage when I was at school. Well, then I went into college, and at college, I discovered the universe of books. While I was great in collaborating with so many people and doing so many other things, I found that in my personal space, in a personal life, in a personal corner, books took me to another universe, took me to another world, and I really enjoyed reading books. I love novels, and especially crime novels a lot. I also discovered movies because when I was in the pre-adult phase, my parents let me go to movies with my friends. And then I discovered movies and I became a great movie buff and I really loved watching movies and I still do. And of course, while I knew friends, while I knew my joint family, I realized the importance of people and what people can make your life. They can make or break your life, the kind of people you need to surround yourself with. I discovered that when I was just finishing college. Coming to work, my first company was Logica, and that's where I found Toastmasters. Oh, I also found my life partner in a Toastmasters club in my first company called Logica. And then my second company was Birla Soft. I was working in World Bank, and that's when I got married to the love of my life, Maitri. Oh, and then one thing led to another. My friend Badri, he referred me to a job at Ericsson and I joined. Ericsson is my third company. And when I joined Ericsson, success followed. And oh, I was gifted with my daughter as well. How's my collaboration going to be? Time will say. How's yours, though, Toastmaster of the Day?
Wow, thank you so much, Raghavan. That was really a wonderful speech. And the thing you said about the joint families remind me also of my childhood, where we used to stay together with my grandfather and all my cousins, and we used to have dinner together. We used to have play together, and definitely that taught me a lot of lessons. And that was a really wonderful presentation as well, Raghavan. And thank you so much, and all the best for your future speeches. So now let's move on to our next